Hello YouTube, shintigercurl here. Yes, I'm still alive, and I'm here with yet another wrestling review. That's right, that guy in the straw hat returns for the Royal Rumble, and with some nice little Wolverine mutton chops. My coworkers like them. And of course, I am joined by my faithful cohort and fellow co-host, Joe. Say hi, Joe. Had a good day at work today. Anyway, it's Sunday night. You know what that means? Time for some pay-per-view wrestling. And since it's the start of the year, what better way to start the year with the Royal Rumble? That's right, that once-in-a-year event where we see all kinds of crazy shenanigans and a 30-man battle royal to decide who goes to the big show. Well, not the big show, but rather the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania. So, who's going to the biggest event of the year? I got my notes. Let's get started. The show opens with the World Heavyweight Championship rematch between Alberto Del Rio and the Big Show. For those of you who are uninitiated, a few weeks ago on SmackDown, the Big Show was challenged by Alberto Del Rio to a last man standing match for the World Heavyweight title. After a grueling match, Alberto Del Rio pulled out the victory and completed his face turn. That's right, Mexico's biggest aristocrat is now a face. So, Big Show cashed in his rematch here at Royal Rumble in, you guessed it, a last man standing match. For those of you who don't know, a last man standing match has no disqualifications, no countouts, no pinfalls, no submissions. The only way to win is to incapacitate your opponent enough so they can't answer a 10 count. This was a pretty good matchup. I was very back and forth despite Alberto Del Rio being outsized by the Big Show and outweighed by like a good 300 pounds, I think. I don't know. It was a nice bit of hardcore wrestling. At one point, Big Show actually threw Alberto Del Rio off one of the sorry, off one of the stage decorations, or if you want to call it that, through a table. Surprisingly enough, Alberto Del Rio got up from that. The turning point of the match came when the Big Show tried to, I guess, spear Alberto Del Rio through a barricade, but missed. Del Rio took advantage and pummeled him with his steel chair. He even put his arm in some steel steps and pounded it. He then brought the Big Show back into the ring and locked him into his cross-arm breaker, while Ricardo Rodriguez, my boy, got some duct tape and a la Cena versus Batista a few years ago, duct tapes the Big Show's legs to the bottom rope. With his arm fucked up as it is, he wasn't able to reach the tape, and thus the Big Show loses. Alberto Del Rio retains. It's a good opener, good way to start the event. Next, we have some backstage stuff involving Dolph Ziggler and his little entourage featuring AJ Lee and Sir Blackie Tinyface, aka Biggie Langston. He's had such a tiny face. While a lot of people are sold on Biggie Langston as a talker, I'm not yet. He just seems awkward when he talks. I don't know. But anyway, next up, Rhodes Scholars. Team Rhodes Scholars. Damian Sandow and Cody Rhodes take on the WWE Tag Team Champions, Daniel Bryan and Kane, Team Hell No. Now, this was a very solid tag team match. A few botches here and there, but nothing to overly ruin the match. Team Rhodes Scholars did a pretty good job of being threatening to both Kane and Daniel Bryan. It was nice back and forth action. Kane and Daniel Bryan have become probably one of my favorite tag teams of the year. But in the end, it was some great teamwork by Team Hell No that earned them the victory. And thus, Team Hell No retains their titles. Great match. Next up, surprisingly enough, separating out of the norm, the main event will take place after the Royal Rumble. So next up, we have the Royal Rumble match. Now, to explain for those who don't understand the Royal Rumble match, premise is this: 30 superstars are chosen, each taking a number at random. The ones who drew 1 and 2 will start the match. Every 90 seconds, one superstar will appear in the ring from the backstage area. Whoever drew 3 will go in third, whoever drew 4th will go in fourth, and so on and so on. This will continue until all 30 wrestlers have entered the match. The only way to eliminate your opponent is to throw them over the top rope and both feet touch the floor. Simple, but you gotta last. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of strategy. There's a lot of ins and outs of this match that don't make sense. But anyway, now for simplicity's sake, I went down and numbered all the entrants from 1 to 30, so you know who entered at what number. And they are in order as follows. From number 1, Dolph Ziggler, Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, Kofi Kingston, Santino Marella, Drew McIntyre, Titus O'Neil, Go Dust, David Otunga, Heath Slater, Sheamus, Lord Tensai, aka Prince Albert, aka Giant Bernard, aka A-Train, aka whatever, Brodus Clay, a returning Rey Mysterio, Mr. No Days Off, Darren Young, aka Chocolate Cena, number 16, Bo Dallas. Who's that? Number 17, who wants to get on the Who Train? The Godfather. Number 18, Wade Barrett. After him, John Cena. Number 20, Damian Sandow. Then we have Daniel Bryan, Antonio Cesaro, The Great Khali, Kane, Zack Ryder, Randy Orton, Jinder Mahal, The Miz, a returning Sin Cara, and Ryback. But before we get to the winner of the Royal Rumble, there are a few spots and highlights that I like to show off. First of all is the number 2 entrant, the returning Chris Jericho. Now, I have to say that he had the biggest pop of the night, rivaling even the pop The Rock got later. It was awesome to see Chris Jericho back from his time away from the WWE. But I don't know if he's back for good or this is just a one-off thing. I don't know, but it's good to see him back. Next, with Goldust, we had he entered the ring at the same. He entered the ring, and his little brother Cody was in there, and we had a nice little Rhodes family reunion with the dashing one and the bizarre one going at it. Ironically enough, it would be Cody Rhodes who eliminates his own brother. Next up. Oh, and Kofi Kingston decides to give us another death-defying high spot. At one point in the match, he is knocked off the apron by Dolph Ziggler, and as luck would have it, Lord Tensai was outside the ring, who had been eliminated, who was outside the ring with his hands on the Spanish announce table. Kofi was able to jump onto his back and then jump onto the Spanish announce table. Now, the question is, how the hell was he going to get back? He wasn't technically eliminated since his feet never touched the ground, so how was he going to get back? At first he was going to jump, but even for someone with the hopstick of Kofi Kingston couldn't make that jump. So he asked JBL for his seat, got in the seat, and kind of hopped back to the ring in the chair. Great job, Kofi. Of course, we had the Godfather returning with his Who Train, but he was eliminated shortly afterwards. I think he probably broke Santino's record of shortest time in the Rumble, but oh well, he left with hose. I can't hate. Bo Dallas, some guy from NXT, was able to eliminate Wade Barrett, which was a big deal, so I see a rivalry coming from them. Another thing was Daniel Bryan eliminated Kane. But then he in turn was also eliminated by Dolph Ziggler. But just as he was kicked out, he grabbed onto Kane, and they were kind of hugging, and they just looked at each other like. And then Daniel Bryan's like, "Throw me back in the ring." Like, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. And then Kane just drops him. Team Hell No. Just when I think I'm tired of you, you do shit like this. Sorry. Let's see. With Ryback coming in last, he pretty much cleared the ring when it was just Ryback, Sheamus, and John Cena. I'm just going to skip right to the end. Cena wins, living up to his promise of winning the Rumble and making it this his year. I understand why the WWE did this. I mean, considering that Cena had a very, very shitty year last year, I still don't like it. Because, well, for one thing, it kills Ryback's push. I mean, if you can't have the guy win the Royal Rumble over Cena, then there's nothing much you can do with him. Not to mention, no, don't get me wrong, I do like Ryback. It's just his push is kind of over. Shame though. And next, we get to the main event. CM Punk defends against The Rock. Now CM Punk is coming off an epic 435 days as world champion. This was a pretty nice back and forth matchup. Both with Cena, with Rock selling his injuries from the Shield's attack to Punk selling his knee injury from a surgically repaired knee. It was extremely back and forth. It could have gone either way. And just when it looked like The Rock was going to hit the people's elbow and win it, lights go out. We don't see what happens, but for some reason, The Rock felt the need to powerbomb himself through an announce table. Did you see anyone, Joe? No? I didn't see anybody either. Hey, Cat, did you see the Shield? Cat didn't see it. I don't get it. But anyway, Punk is like, wow, what happened? So he goes outside, picks Rock back up, puts him in the ring. 1, 2, 3. The reign continues. Hell, Punk. But then Vince McMahon comes out. And when Vince McMahon comes out, you know somebody's going to get screwed. And screwed hard. And it looks like Mr. Punk is the recipient of today's screwing. Like, alright, Punk, bend over. It's time to get fucked in the ass. No, Vince. Please. I'm not shut and take my dick. So, it looks like Vince was going to strip him of his title, but then The Rock somehow picks up a microphone and says, it's not going to go down this way. You restart the match. You ain't taking the belt. I am. So Vince restarts the match. It looked like Punk was on the way to win to retain his title, since Rock was pretty much fucked up beyond belief. Until Rock hits a spine buster and pulls off what my roommate Don refers to as the EX. People's elbow. He spent that meter to drop it. 1, 2, 3. Rock is the world champion. I understand, again, with Cena winning the Rumble, I understand why they did it. I just don't have to like it. I mean, I've enjoyed Punk's title run as much as anyone, but it's still just a shame. But he had a great run. Eventually becoming the 6th longest title reign in history and the longest title reign of the past 20 years. That says something. Punk, you've come up. You're a legit superstar in my eyes and everyone else's eyes. So I guess we now see the shape of WrestleMania to come, as John Cena will face The Rock in a rematch of last year's bout, this time with the strap on the line. And that was the Royal Rumble. My thoughts? Going down a bit. This is just my personal preference. While I did enjoy the first couple of matches, the Rumble just felt, I don't know, just a letdown. There weren't that many surprise entrants this year. Just a few returning people from injury. The only real surprises were Chris Jericho's return, as well as the Godfather returning. But other than that, the Rumble was somewhat forgettable. I'm uncertain how I feel about The Rock winning the world title, but I understand why they did it. The Rock's not really doing anything until June, so I understand why they did it, but I don't know. It's just me. What do you think, Joe? I guess Joe liked it. And let's see if I can find it. And of course, the return of the D-Cell Battery Award. This award, I'd have to give it to the three-man band. They really did not add anything to this. They were just glorified jobbers, which is what they are. Why the WWE gets the main screen time is beyond me. I mean, we could have had spots for any number of people who are more deserving of those spots, but just to give them the three-man band, I don't know. But anyway, that's my review of the Royal Rumble. So, those are my closing thoughts. So, until the next time, this is shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, and Joe, saying goodnight, and wrestle on.